Hello YouTube. Today we'll be taking a look at pretty much the last 2 weeks of work I've been doing. This will be a relatively longer video because I want to go over what I intend for the ruins and what I intend for each individual part of ruins that we have in game. This is Vault 1. If you guys have ever played the Legendary Weapons mod, you guys will know the vaults. I've upgraded and overhauled them. They're using a base asset from Vanilla Kenshi, and that's if we go over here to layouts, that's the labs number 2. I've gone ahead and modified this. Gone ahead and modified this so that it is its own interior now. So pausing the game real quick, we have, for the most part, the bottom floor and the second floor haven't changed. The third floor has changed a lot from the labs number 2, but these guys are from Hugo the Dwarf's mod, the Enforcer mod. These are Enforcer brutes. They have their own unique weapon, which you can craft in the game. Another Enforcer brute hiding behind that light, and then these guys are the Ironsides. If you take a look at them, they have their own custom idle animation, custom attacks, and stuff like that. Funnily enough, these guys, when you kill them, if we open this up real quick, they don't actually have a ragdoll, so they just float there. And every once in a while, when I'm playing with this on stream and testing these guys out, I forget that they don't have a ragdoll. And so I go and I try to attack, and I'm like, holy shit, he's still standing there. Pretty funny stuff. You'll find a lot of, I guess, what are these, thralled recruits here? Or not recruits, they're thralls. Along with some, there's probably a couple of them hiding around. This is the new interior. Let's turn off the menu real quick so I can show you guys. This actually hosts Deimos. He's a unique recruit, Ironside. He is, however, the boss of this area, or the boss of Vault 1. So you will need to fight him in order to recruit him. These vaults are meant to be endgame content. They have a completely unique weapon in them, and they have unique gear and tech in them. These are the Generator 3s. As of now, they're currently balanced to do 150 power, which is a little smaller than I want it to be. I think they'll be 250 power when the update finalizes. So in here, you will actually find that these safes hold the restored frames. So you'll find your restored frames from the Ironside mod here, the H2 frame, I3 frame, and I2 frame. And they'll be relatively common. You'll find a bunch of them. I think it's 5 or 6 per vault. If you want to recruit a lot of Ironsides, you're actually more likely to keep these guys, and then eventually I'll add in the ability to craft them. So I went ahead and added a bunch of smaller containers here along the shelves. This will save a little bit on resources from the items. Not much, but a little bit on resources for your PC. Here is Tempest Stampede. Tempest Stampede, along with the other vaults. I'm not going to show you every weapon because I don't want players to know where every weapon is. They're legendary. They're slightly below Maytao. They're slightly below Maytao level, but their bonuses will make them scale much better into a larger endgame. It'll have its own custom legend. This is the legend on the map. Red is for armory, blue is for libraries, green is for workshops, and yellow is for labs. Cross for ruin, star for lost, pentagon for ancient, square for unique, and triangle for vault. So as you can see from the legend, we have a vault here. You will be able to download this on the website, and I'll tell you why I did this in a second, because I want players to have the ability to know where everything is without breaking the in-game lore with the potential implications of how I have some of this stuff set up. This was actually new Dead Cat, and I decided to scrap that quest. It didn't make a lot of sense, because the general idea was that you were supposed to attack all the cannibals, kill them, wipe them out, and then you help Dead Cat come back as a faction. However, in-game, Dead Cat are kind of just this dead faction. They don't really exist anymore except for in one tiny place and through the old city name. You'll find another recruit here, Kenji. You can just walk up and talk to him. I went ahead and I did away with the repairable bridge. This isn't actually here. I turned off foliage, so I went ahead and did away with the repairable bridge and just added this. So instead, what it looks like is there used to be a full-size bridge here, and it went down to the ground, then it was ruined, and then somebody came along and built a stick bridge to just go up here into the city. Kenshi will be standing at one of these spots. You'll have your ruins, which are the destroyed buildings here. I know, text sheet, boo-hoo. You'll have your ruins, which are the tech ruin building here. They have, generally in the area, they have high enemy counts, or in the ruins of the town themselves, they'll have high enemy counts. I finished the library template, I finished the armory template, and I finished the lab template. Your generic rune, let's jump here. These will tell a visual story, but not a direct story. In this case, this one has cannibal trophies scattered around, some cannibal fires and stuff like that. So the general story here is that at one point in time, there was a farm here, and then it got hit by cannibals. These guys actually are squatting. So, squatters sitting in here. This is supposed to be more about building materials. So they're always worth hitting for the player, but they're there to help players start off the early game without needing to buy stuff. These will be relatively rare, but they have a decent amount of loot. That'll be balanced more over time as I get more and more player feedback. And then we have the towns, which are technically not towns anymore. I instead decided to make these way station based off of this way station in Bench. Don't crash on me now. Okay, it crashed. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay. Hello again, I'm back. What I wanted to show off while this loads in, seems to be loaded in, but this will be mostly tech related. You'll find a bunch of ruins. Most ruin buildings will balance more around materials than it will loot that's useful to the player. And I did that so that players can rely on destroyed ruins to be material rich. And I try to make them all visually distinct. They're generally destroyed and stuff like that, but if we jump over to this guy, what we have instead is what was supposed to be a way station and then got overrun, got destroyed. Again, more visual storytelling without the need to actually tell the story to the player. Going through the ruins here, we have Lost. And the reason I made the picture map, this map here, is because I wanted to change how the players perceive the game and how the lore is told in the game. So the way you find lost ruins in-game now is you just find a map. But if there's a map, how are they lost? My idea here is that the players will know that the ruins are there if they make the choice to know that the ruins are there. Meaning you will have to go to thelostblog.com and you will have to download the map in order to know where all ruins are. In-game, however, they will not show up on any map. This lost library you will not find on any map in-game. There will be no implication, no lore implication on the game that, in the game, that what you're seeing is a lost library, because the lore implication in the game is, if it's a lost library, how would anyone have a map of the location? These are actually full of the new bookshelves. Now you have your maps. Upstairs you will have more bookshelves. And the idea here was, as I was saying earlier, the idea here was that I wanted players to have something that not only looks good, but is functional. Lost library, lost armory, lost lab, etc., etc. You will not find those on any map. They will be rich in resources, but they will generally have enemies in them. If you don't use the external map, I want these to be difficult for players to find. If you guys have any questions, leave questions down in the comments, and like, comment, subscribe. Thank you everybody for watching.